谢谢你们的我们的媒体朋友们来今天参加我的这个 press conference media release。很多人应该知道我是国外生的，应该很多人已经知道我的祖籍是从湖北的，我家里面已经是第3代在国外生的，就是我的中文讲的不是很好，我是希望你们可以了解我讲英文的。给我说是讲英文是容易一点，就是没有，不要说什么错了，可不可以？谢谢。Hello everyone, thank you for coming. Yesterday, during an all-candidate debate hosted by the local Unionville Residents Association, Mr. Bob Soroya, currently the candidate for the Conservative Party, had made the Conservative position clear. He says the Conservative Party thinks supporting the most vulnerable Canadians is a waste of money. And he also said, especially for the seniors, it's a waste of money. For small businesses, he's saying it's a waste of money. And for the workers that have been affected by the pandemic, it's a waste of money. He is against the vaccination. He called it a reckless spending by our government for this pandemic. Over the past 6 years, as a Markham-Unionville Member of Parliament, Mr. Bob Soroya has spread misinformation and fake news. And he continued to do the same at the all-candidate forum last night. On assault weapons, Mr. Soroya claimed that if you look at every single shooting in Canada, it had nothing to do with assault guns. That was his quote. Also saying that the Conservative Party will legalize more handguns. These weapons were used in mass shooting at the École Polytechnique Institute in Montreal, at the Dawson College, and the Quebec mosque shooting. Because Mr. Soroya is ignoring these facts, which is a reality in Canada with the mass shooting with assault-style weapons. On childcare, Mr. Soroya claimed that the Liberal Party planned for a $10 a day daycare doesn't deliver savings until 2016. This is false. A re-elected Liberal government will cut child care fees for all families in half by next year. And already has agreement in place with 8 provinces in Canada about child care. On fiscal responsibility, Mr. Soroya made a number of false claims about Canada's debt level. While the facts shows that Canada entered the pandemic with one of the strongest balance sheets in the world and is emerging with the lowest debt level in the G7 nations. Furthermore, the federal government debt servicing costs are lower today than during the Harper's government years at the lowest point since 1995. Mr. Soroya has developed a bad habit over the last 6 years when it comes to misinformation and fake news. In 2016, Mr. Bob Soroya claimed the city of Markham and the federal government were conspiring to set up safe injection sites, an issue that the city of Markham confirmed to be simply not true. The incident even forced local representatives to set the record straight, denouncing the claim as disinformation, a fear-mongering tactic targeting Markham's Chinese and Asian community. Markham Council also called on Mr. Soroya to a council meeting to learn about the safe injection site process, to which Mr. Bob Soroya failed to show up at this council meeting. Bob had claimed that he is working hard to fight against safe injection sites, but that again was a fake issue. After his party leader, Aaron O'Toole, confirmed that the Conservative will allow safe injection sites and build a lot more recovery centers, suddenly Bob became silent about this issue of safe injection site. Additionally, in 2019, national news media reported that Mr. Bob Soroya uses his campaign flyers to spread falsehood about fake refugees. In 2020, Mr. Bob Soroya claimed that the federal government is providing free heroin to addicts. Mr. Soroya also developed a bad habit of saying one thing and doing the opposite. He has claimed that his priorities are tackling gun violence and hate crime, but he and his Conservative have made a secret deal with the gun lobby to cancel BC 71. The Conservative Party wants to re-legalize military-style assault weapons and putting these deadly weapons back onto our Canadian streets. Bob has also claimed that keeping taxes low is one of his priorities. But when the Liberal cut taxes for middle class and raised it for the top 1%, Bob and his Conservative Party voted against it. So after 6 years of misinformation and division, I believe Markham-Unionville deserves better. Markham-Unionville deserves an MP who's focused on building our community up and not dividing our community. So in regards to that, my background as a police officer working for York Regional Police for the past 28 years, my last 15 years, I was working in a unit called Diversity and Hate Crime. And my role in the last 15 years was to build relationship between our community. Not like Mr. Bob Soroya, who was dividing the community. My job and my role in police was to build relationship. I have met many of our media friends here during my career as a York Regional Police officer, and you all know my compassion and my empathy towards community and helping communities to work together and build relationship together with communities. Thank you so much for coming out this morning or this afternoon.